Hello and welcome to the Football Philosophy channel. And it's week 5 of the Champions League group stages. Quite a few teams have already qualified for the knockout stages, and I'm sure there'll be quite a few more who qualify over the next couple of nights. There's a few games tonight. There's 4 groups get played tonight, 4 groups tomorrow. United have got the massive game tomorrow, PSG at Old Trafford. United are one of the clubs that can qualify tomorrow night. They need a point from the PSG game. For anybody who doesn't know yet or doesn't understand it yet, PSG are 3 points behind United. So if we were to draw tomorrow, United can get to 10 points, and that's the maximum amount of points PSG would still be able to get. But United beat PSG away, and they will have drawn with them at home. So it goes on the head-to-head, the results between the two clubs. So if United draw tomorrow, it's impossible for PSG to overtake United no matter what happens in week 6. In week 6, by the way, United have got Leipzig, and Leipzig are in the exact same situation. United need 1 point off Leipzig, and for the very same reasons they would qualify by finishing above Leipzig. So if they fail to get the point tomorrow, a point in Leipzig next week would do the trick. Obviously, though, they don't want to be going to Germany on the last day of the group stages and needed a point. A tricky fixture like Leipzig away. They really want to get it done tomorrow night. Ole's had his press conference today talking about tomorrow, and just as I've said, he said it's a massive European night. He spoke about how much he used to love the big nights in Europe when he was a player. He said it a couple of times how much he loved it under the lights. He expects a bit of rain, so a quick pitch. He also mentioned that it's a shame that there can't be any fans there. The atmosphere used to be electric in those days, and obviously because of COVID there's going to be no fans again at the stadium tomorrow. There is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel on that theme. Obviously there's 2,000 fans being allowed in at the Premier League games this weekend out of half of the Premier League games, or half of the Premier League clubs, depending on what tier you're in. So there will be 2,000 fans at a few games. So I'm just hoping United can get through, obviously tomorrow, but if not, certainly by next week. And then maybe there'll be quite a few fans in the stadium come February when the Champions League restarts in February. At his press conference, he had Donny van de Beek sat next to him. Not too long ago, you used to always be able to take that was a player who was going to be in the starting lineup the following day. I've seen it a couple of times recently, though, where it's not been the case. The person who was with him didn't actually start. But I would still say that Donny van de Beek being sat next to him and fielding a few questions himself means to me that Donny will probably start tomorrow night, although there's no certainty, of course. The first question to Ole, I thought he dealt with it very well. He was asked about a social media post that was posted either by Edison Cavani or by one of his people. He said that obviously the club are supporting Cavani, they will support Cavani, but they are also supporting the FA. So I think he's inferring that the FA do come down hard on Cavani. I think he's saying there won't be any opposition from United, and I think he dealt with that very well, really, because this sort of thing does need clamping down on, even though it wasn't intended in a bad way by Cavani. So he dealt with that very well. I'd say well done to Ole on that one. He was then asked about David De Gea, if he's fit, and he said he's trained well, and he's fully fit. So I did say in my last show that I expected that Henderson might get a few games now, but perhaps David De Gea will go straight back in after the knock that he took to his knee at Southampton. He was asked about injuries in general, and his exact words were that everybody trained. And he actually said there was a massive group training today. So when he said everybody, I assumed he meant obviously Pogba's not been fit, McTominay's not been fit, Luke Shaw's not been fit. So he said absolutely everybody, and he was asked directly about Luke Shaw. And then when he was asked directly about Luke Shaw, he said he's the biggest doubt. So it sounds like Luke Shaw is training, but maybe it's doubtful that he'll start in the game. But it sounds like other than that, he's got a full strength squad. Anthony Martial was asked about as well. Obviously, Anthony Martial travelled to Southampton at the weekend, but was taken ill overnight and didn't take part in the game. But he trained today. He said he's perfectly fit. He was also asked if it's an awkward situation now with Cavani. You know, he's not even didn't even start in the league yet, but he's got 3 league goals already. Obviously, he got two on Sunday as well as an assist. So he was asked whether it's difficult now how he's going to fit Anthony Martial in. Is he faced with a situation of dropping him? He was asked if Anthony will be happy being moved out to the left wing. And I thought it was a great answer. He said he had Donny van de Beek sat next to him, as I say. He did say Donny van de Beek can play in lots of positions. And then he mentioned the forwards and said that they can all interchange. He said Greenwood, Rashford, Martial, and he said even Cavani. I've got to be honest, I would have thought Cavani was an out-and-out number 9, and that's that. But he said even Cavani, he said they can all play different positions along the front 4 was the phrase that he used. I'll be honest with you, I didn't like the sound of that, the front 4. It sounds like too many to me. But that's what he said. And he said they can all interchange and play in different positions. And me personally, I've seen Anthony Martial play many times as a wide left winger or a wide left attacker. I think he looks perfectly suited to it. I think he's brilliant out there. I'm sure he must enjoy it equally as much as playing at number 9. And especially if you're playing with good players, you'll enjoy it even more. So I think if Cavani's at 9, Martial has to play wide left, I think he'll be perfectly happy. Somebody asked him about the transfer budget and who they're looking at in January. I was pleased with the way he dealt with that one. It doesn't interest me. I'm not interested in any transfer targets. In January, if there's a genuine chance of signing someone, it'll be worth talking about them. But I'm not interested in, I don't know, 10 different players being talked about in 6 different newspapers or something like that. And all he said, he's got a big squad. He actually said, and I thought it was a great point, he's already got selection headaches. He's got too many players champing at the bit for games, and he doesn't know how he's good. I've said 2 or 3 times on different shows, he's probably having sleepless nights, Ollie, about how he's going to fit Van de Beek and Bruno in the team. Before that, I said it about Bruno and Pogba. Now he's got the Cavani and Martial situation. It's all healthy. It's all competitive for all the different places in the team, which is great news. But it is an headache for the manager trying to fit him in. So to ask him about who he might be interested in signing, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at his answer. He also said win the game and win the group. So he said they'd really want to win this game. They don't just want to qualify. They want to actually win the group. So if they win the game, they will actually top the group. Obviously, the point just qualifies them, which guarantees them at least second place. But a win would win the group. If you win the group, you supposedly get a weaker team. It doesn't always work like that. But the winners of each group are drawn against the teams that finish second in the other groups. So it's supposedly a weaker team, but very occasionally a real top side slips up and doesn't win their group. So it doesn't always work, but it does make sense to try and finish top. I wouldn't take it that by Ole saying that he wants to finish top, that he's going to pick a particular attacking lineup. Obviously, he wants to win the game. But sometimes when you're playing against a top team, the best way of winning a game, well, not sometimes, regularly, the best outlook and the best way to play it is to try to stop them scoring. Now, that sounds particularly defensive, and a lot of people would think, well, we're not trying to win the game by doing that. You're trying to draw the game. It's not the case. There's no point going out all guns blazing against a top side who could hit you on the break when they've got players with the pace of Mbappe and the quality of Neymar. You could find yourself 2-0 down before you know it. So if you start defensively, and you can, it doesn't always work either, whichever way you try, but if you start defensively, concentrate on your team shape and concentrate having your back 4 or your back 5 right, then obviously you can keep them to 0 for as long as possible, and you only need to nick 1 goal. So to put it more simply, if you're solid defensively, if you can keep a clean sheet, you've only got to score 1. You don't want to go out there and be needing to score 3 against a team like PSG, although I will always add it's not impossible. But sometimes your best way of winning a game is to stop the opposition from scoring, and then obviously you've only got to nick 1 at some stage. So just by him saying he wants to win the game, don't take it that he means they're going to play a particular attacking lineup. What will the lineup be tomorrow? I'm going to have a guess at it. I got 2 players. I got the formation wrong, but I got 2 players wrong for the Southampton game. I'll have a go at this lineup for tomorrow. I think De Gea will start now that he's said he's fit. I don't think I don't think he'll keep Henderson in the sticks. He didn't do anything wrong. Obviously, he kept a clean sheet in the second half, but De Gea is his main man. He couldn't do anything with the 2 goals for me on Sunday. The in-swinging corner, it came at him from 2 yards away, a flicked header. He had no chance of reacting to save that. And then the free kick was an inch inside the post. I don't think he could anything. I thought he did well to get an hand on it, to be honest. And in doing so, he flew into the post and damaged his knee. But obviously, his knee's recovered. He's fine. All he said, he's actually trained well today. So I think De Gea will start in goal. I think the back 4 picks itself in as much that I don't think Luke Shaw will be past fit. He has said he's the one doubt. To say that he's the one doubt does sound to me, though, as though there is a glimmer of hope that he might play. But I would have thought it'd be a step too far when he's been out for a month just to throw him into such a big game as this. So obviously, when picking this team, you've got to decide what sort of format he's going to play, what formation. In games like this, he often plays with a back 5, but I don't think he's got the personnel to go with a back 5 tomorrow. Tuanzebe is suspended. He often uses Luke Shaw as a third centre-back. If he was going to put Luke Shaw in, I think that would be the only reason that he would put him in. If he was going to go with a back 5, put Luke Shaw in as a third centre-back and then Telles at left-back. Don't forget, Telles got a knock at Southampton and came off for the last 10 or 15 minutes, but obviously he's fit. There was no mention, as I said, no mention of any injuries. Everybody was training. So I think Telles will definitely play. But I'm going to say he'll stick with the back 4. I think he'll stick with the back 4. If Luke Shaw had been playing regularly and was fully fit, I think he might have gone with a back 5. But I think it's a little bit too risky when he's not been playing. So I think it'll be a back 4 of Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof and Telles. In midfield, probably a diamond again. It's not my favourite formation, but probably a diamond again. Pogba was training, by the way. There was no mention of Scott McTominay, but again, I'll repeat it. He said everybody trains, so I assume Scott's fit again. I don't think Pogba will come back into the team. I think Scott McTominay might well come back in. I thought Matic played very well at the weekend and possibly doesn't really deserve to lose his place. But Scott was the man in possession and was doing really well. I think he'll go with Scott McTominay and Fred as part of the diamond. I think Matic will probably sit this one out. So I'm going with Scott McTominay and Fred as 2 defensive style midfield players, if you like, although they will be part of a diamond. I think probably Fred to the left of the diamond and probably Donny van der Beek. As I say, he was sat with him and answered a couple of questions. I think Donny, not that he deserved to lose his place anyway. I think he's had 2 fine games in the last week. Once against Besiktas here and then once against Southampton. So I think Donny will start. So that's Donny, McTominay and Fred. And then at the point of the diamond, I think it will be Bruno. And then up top, I don't think Greenwood will be in the lineup. I think it'll be between 3 forwards for 2 places. So there's 3 possible combinations. It could be Rashford and Martial. It could be Rashford and Cavani. It could be Martial and Cavani. My favourite there to go with would be Martial and Cavani, despite the fact that Cavani came on as a sub. He scored twice. He made a goal. I've got a feeling he's going to go with his tried and trusted Martial and Rashford, younger players, supposedly quicker players. We can hit them on the break. I think he'll go with Martial and Rashford. I feel sorry for Cavani. I would go with Cavani and Martial. That'd be my pairing. I'm going to hazard a guess that Ollie will go with Rashford and Martial. So to recap, I think it'll be De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Telles. I think it'll be Matic and Fred as the defensive style midfield players. It'll be Van der Beek and it'll be Bruno Fernandes. And I think it'll be Martial and Rashford. Whatever he goes with, I'm desperately hoping for us to get the point we need. If we can get the win and win the group, I'd be over the moon with that. But I'd be perfectly happy with a 0-0 draw. Ollie might be thinking like that as well. So let's see exactly what format he does go with and who plays. I'll be back tomorrow with the player in focus. The person who looks like he's going to win, the voting's not finished yet on the player in focus. It's looking like it's going to be Donny van der Beek. So I think I'll be back tomorrow with Donny van der Beek as my player in focus from the Southampton game. If you enjoyed that little video, please smash a like on the video. Please subscribe. Tell all your friends. If you didn't enjoy it, keep stum. Don't tell anyone.